1. Hello and welcome everyone to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Tell me where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time, welcome. We are so excited to have you. Please be sure to let us know in the comments. As you can see, I've kind of have a little different setup today. I thought I'd mix it up a little bit. Hopefully the audio is good. You guys can let me know. I will also be, just because I'm going to actually use these ahead of time, because I want to make sure the audio stays good because the area I'm in kind of echoes a little bit. So let me know where you're tuning in from. And before we get into today's content and I introduce you to our guests and all of that, let me do a quick rundown while you guys are jumping into the comments and saying hello to everyone. I want to make sure that I let those who are new know that Ed Talk TV is all about the conversation. We talk about business, tech, and the user experience, which covers a lot of ground, right? This is a talk show. It airs Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on Ed Troxel Creative's Facebook page. And then if you ever miss an episode, you can always catch up with them easily at edtalktv.com. There's information there about the show. You can see past experiences. You can see past episodes, as well as requests to become a guest here on the show. You don't have to have a huge social media following. You don't have to have XYZ. Like, you can request to be a guest to share what you know, okay? That's what we're all about here. I'm going to be looking down a little bit because I have my computer set up over here. We're working some different angles today. Hey, Erica, welcome. And here's the fun thing, you guys. When you tune in live, I actually can put your comments right here on the screen. How cool is that? So if you're curious also about what equipment I use and how I have set up, you can always go to edtalktv.com and there'll be a list there of all the things that I am using. Also, I'll probably post a picture later for the page here. I'll use the stories and I'll post a picture of the crazy setup I have today. And really, I only have a couple items to show in terms of what I actually use. So keep that in mind. Hey, perfect. So you guys are jumping in the comments. Be sure to connect with each other, connect with me, and send. Yes, definitely send in your requests. That would be awesome. Love to have you on the show. I hate when I look down at the computer, but that's okay. We're live. That's what happens. When you don't have an executive producer and a whole team to help you with your show, that's what you got to do, right? So welcome everyone. Today we're going to get into some great content. We're going to have a special guest, which we'll talk to here in just a few minutes. But what I wanted to do is go over random news. And today's random news actually comes from one of our viewers. One of our viewers had sent me a video, and I'm going to share it with you guys because it relates to what we've talked about. And feel free, if anybody wants to, tag Arlene, who was one of our guests this week, and she was a guest last week as well, because this ties into one of the episodes where we talked with Arlene. So I'm going to go ahead and share this video that our viewer, Jess Hoffman, sent in to me today. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. So let's take a look here. Let me go ahead and switch my screen over. Give it a second to flip. Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Here we go.
All right, this is real life. This is this thing.
Can anybody guess what this is if you watch previous episodes? Well, and you might even know what this is now, but why it ties in.
See? Awesome sauce. This is why. In the Midwest, or wherever it snows and we get all this crap on our windshield, it's the best tool ever because it's magic. All of a sudden, you have nothing left on your windshield and don't have to wait 15 minutes to defrost everything and accidentally ruin the environment.
So how cool is that, you guys? One of our viewers sent that video in, Shout outs to Jess and thank you for sharing that with us. But that's one of the ice scrapers that we had talked about on one of the episodes with Arlene, where, you see one and everyone's buying it. And of course, here in California, I've never seen that actually before. I've seen ice scrapers, but I haven't seen something like that because we don't really need to have our ice scraped off of our cars for the most part because we don't get it too cold here in our area. So that was fun, something different that popped in. I'm going to look down here at the screen. I will tell you guys what's really hard is when I have the lights on. I'm going to see if I can dim them just a little bit. When I have the lights on, because my webcam, by the way, so let me back up for a second. The equipment I'm using, this webcam, it actually has a built-in light. So if you've ever heard of ring lights or, you set up studio lights and things like that, well, what's cool about this webcam is it actually has them built in. The hard part sometimes when you're transitioning over to the screen is that you've been looking at lights directly, so then you got to go over here and your eyes have to adjust. So this is real life. This is what we do with the show. So here we go. So perfect. I love that you guys are jumping into the comments there. Awesome. So that's our random news. Again, if you have any tips or any random news you want to send in to me, feel free. Like, you can definitely do that. I actually might have a forum I'll set up soon on edtalktv.com. But in the meantime, if we're already connected, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook there or post it here on the page. Because remember, there's actually, I don't know if you guys know this, there's a community tab here on the page where you can actually post to the page. It's pretty cool. So you can actually do that because then that way others can engage and it's not just you and me. Anybody can jump into the conversation. So take a look at that. See about that later on after the show. Hello. I'm going to pop the comments on here. Yes, evening. Yep, Vicky on her business page. Okay, so real quick, too, if you missed yesterday's episode, that's okay. You can watch it later. But we were talking about business pages, Facebook business pages, and how you can start utilizing them in the comments like you see here with Vicky. And it's perfect because Vicky's business page, as you can see here on the screen, doesn't actually have her name in there. But she took what we talked about yesterday, which is make sure to add your name in the comments so people can know who you are and it becomes more personal, right? You're not working with some big brand or some, corporate business page. You're working with somebody one-on-one still, right? It makes it feel like you have a connection with them. So utilize your business page because Facebook has made it easier now for you to go ahead and engage with other posts here on Facebook. And so when you log into, say, the show here, you can log in as your business page and carry on conversations so that way people can see who you are, what you do, and maybe even want to go like and follow your page. So keep that in mind. Well done, Vicky, on this one. Love that. Yes, you do listen. I love that. You guys are awesome. So, all right. I'm going to call our guest here in just a second and let her introduce herself. I want to let you guys know, of course, to continue to comment throughout the episode. Be sure to show some emotions, not just the like. And then also, if you want, feel free to share this out so that we can bring new people into our community here. So let me go ahead and switch my screens a little bit here. I have just my regular desk or laptop, so my screens are very small versus having it on my big screen. So yeah, we definitely start doing that because that definitely helps with creating more engagement with your page. So that's a big one. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our screen here, and I'm going to go ahead and give our guest a call. Bear with me for a second. Fingers crossed, all the tech will work with us. Because we're above the tech level here right now. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Can you see me?
Not yet. Make sure there should be towards the bottom a little spot where you can tap on like a little, yes, there we go.
I'm so excited. Okay.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? you?
I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself to everyone and let them know who you are, and then we'll go from there.
That sounds good. Hey, everybody. I'm Aisha Adams from Aisha Adams Media. I'm the blogger behind Nappy Thoughts, and I'm just thrilled to be here. Hey, Wit. Hey, Vicky.
This is so exciting. I'm so glad to have you here. And tell everyone, where are you located?
I am located in the beautiful mountains of Asheville, North Carolina.
Nice. Okay. And how's the weather today?
The weather was good. I actually just left from the store, and I didn't have on a jacket, so that's pretty amazing for this time of year for us.
Nice, nice. Yeah, here in California, it's been windy, but we can't complain. It's nice. It's 60 degrees. The sun is out finally, and we're good.
Awesome.
So, tell us a little bit of your background. Just kind of how you got started with business, and then we can jump into what you have for us today.
It's so funny because I think I have the earphones on, but I don't know if I hear you through the earphones or my cell phone. And then I have you on my computer screen so I can keep up with the comments. So this is hilarious.
This is how it goes down. This is what happens. We're everywhere.
Yeah. I started um, working in social media. Actually, I actually was recruited to Asheville as a school teacher.
Okay.
And I worked with a principal who had a group of struggling kids, and she really wanted someone to connect with her students. And so I started working at Asheville High School, particularly with struggling readers. And so one weekend I was lesson planning, and I was like, I had been using YouTube in my lessons.
Oh,
And what I've been doing was, particularly because I needed more time to start my day,
yeah.
I would record my intro in the mornings to my students, right? And
Nice.
so, hey, Vanessa. So I would record those, and I would like start the first 10 minutes of my class would be me trying to create this intro that also spoke to every student in the room. So I had like one student whom I love, who I hope pops on here. His name is Deshaun. I'd be like, Deshaun, pull your pants up. I don't want to see that today. And I would do it in this video. So one weekend I was lesson planning, and I decided, I was like, okay, this is it. If my students, these struggling quote unquote readers,
Yeah.
right? If they can make money off YouTube, like enough money to have a pizza party, surely they can pass their state exams.
Sure.
And so I went, I went into class. I was like, hey, everybody, I have something so exciting planned. And they were like, yes, nerd. And I was like, we're going to all get rich. We're going to make these YouTube channels. And so one of the young ladies got up and said, how about you make a YouTube channel? We'll do the contracts. We'll do the video. We'll write the caption, but we don't
Nice.
want to be on TV. So we did that. And then, that's how I got my own YouTube channel.
I
And I
love
enjoyed
it.
it so much. And I just really started connecting with my students. And so, that summer school, I taught summer school, and that was when the Paula Dean situation broke out.
Okay.
And, so I did my comment, and we got like 3,000 views. So it was like, we
Wow.
went from having like 100 views to like 3,000 views. And so we started making more controversial things and talking about things that were more important to my students. And, eventually it just became a thing. And, I have over 2,000 followers. I have some videos that have, 100,000 views, 50,000 views. And, after I, left that teaching gig and was switched to another school, I kept the channel going, in memory of my students, so they would always know how to connect with me.
Yes.
And I had a car accident actually, and I
Oh, no.
broke my neck, my wrist, and my leg.
Oh, wow.
And I had decided, like, well, maybe I should be doing this, right? Because I'm a blogger, I'm a writer. Maybe this is what I should be doing. And that's how Aisha Adams Media was born.
I love all of this minus the accident part, but
I love the accident too. You gotta love the accident, right?
yeah,
Like I got married, I got to see my mom for 6 to 8 weeks and my sister for 6 to 8 weeks, and find out how much the community loved me. So like
yeah.
I got flowers from the community, and it was just a really wonderful time in my life, actually.
See, and that's how you have to look at things like that. You guys, even if you're watching the replay, be sure to jump in on this. But it's as even when we have simple things like getting sick, right? Like we want to keep going, we want to keep moving forward, and we feel like we can't take this break, and then we're forced to by something, whether it's sickness or a car accident or whatever. Like there's something that forces us to do it, and then the only thing we can do is look on the bright side of it and see what it allowed us to do, or maybe not do, depending on what it is.
Hmm.
And So I want to back up for a second. Maybe I missed it, but what grade level were you teaching?
So I taught high school, and actually I taught repeaters, right?
Oh, okay.
So so these were students who were traditionally not supposed to be like the biggest and the brightest, but we had a big check from YouTube. Like we was doing it.
That
Right? So yeah. Now there are adults here and business people here who still haven't figured out how to leverage YouTube, right?
right.
So I had
Yeah.
actually a class of repeaters, and they were my boo's. We did so much stuff. I miss them dearly.
See, and what I love about that is that you're a teacher that goes in and utilizes the technology. Because I wasn't a teacher, but I worked closely with after school programs for like 7+ years and at an elementary school. And so I know, like, we're talking about businesses here struggling with tech. Well, you guys, the education system struggles with tech all the time, and they're trying to teach the youth how to do it, but the youth know how because will know a little bit more because they're figuring it out as they go along in the world, right? And so what's hard what's great about having someone like you go into the system and go in and be like, listen, this is what we need to start doing. Let's get this going. And then I love how you took it to the next level. You didn't just start a YouTube channel. You didn't just have the kids assist, but you personalized it.
Oh yeah. Do you remember that thing where you would like where everybody would freeze and then the whole class would just go crazy? Like
Yeah.
we had one of those videos. And I just let like other English teachers allow students to come in and participate in that. I'm not a teacher anymore. But when I was a teacher, that's the kind of work I was doing.
See,
So it was amazing.
and that's what I love. How many of you guys watching, even if you're watching the replay, how many of you are in the education system? I'm just curious if you're a teacher or if you know someone who's a teacher, because at least in my area, especially there, it's like almost every other person is either a teacher or a nurse or a real estate agent. Like, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Or works in wine because I'm in wine country. That's a big one too. But what I really like is the fact that you personalized it. You saw a need there for it and you just went with it and the kids followed and everyone worked together to get to that next level.
Yeah, they used to be like, "What do you got on? See, this is why you're not married. Like, can you change your outfit for our video?" So it was an amazing experience, and it really taught me a lot about marketing and branding and connecting.
See, I love that. And quick side note, hashtag single life. Welcome everyone. We love it. I know it's Valentine's Day. Celebrate however you want, but I'll say hashtag singles. Here we are. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what you did in order to grow that and kind of like the tactics that you use. Because I know you guys, even if you're watching the replay, let us know how many of you are struggling with promoting your content. I'm not even going to say just on YouTube because I feel like YouTube's a big one for a lot of us that we're not utilizing enough. But just in general, how many of you guys are actually, struggling to promote your content and kind of attract your target audience? And I'm going to look in the comments here as well.
Yeah. And like, give us some emojis or something. Let us know y'all here. We want to see you.
Yes, and I love
Hey,
it.
Erica.
Educate. Oh yeah, and when Mickey's in the education. Yes, special education. I love that. Perfect.
Yeah,
Hopefully
definitely. I
soon.
had a lot of, I had a mixed classroom. I had an inclusive classroom. So I definitely had a couple of my students who had IEPs in the room, and we just had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what it's about, right? It's like getting the work done, but in a way that makes it fun, because that's how you get people to engage and stay connected with it versus like, well, I don't want to do it.
That's okay. I got a cool healthcare story too. So,
Nice.
so I had this accident, and because you asked me how did I leverage this, how did I grow it? So when I
Yeah.
had the accident, my son and I were in the car, and our car hydroplaned upside down into a body of water.
Oh,
So yes. So you know what that means. iPads underwater, phones underwater, computers are underwater, and I was shacking. for the singles.
Yeah.
At the time, I was shacking with my now husband, and I didn't know his number by heart because we don't remember 7-digit numbers, 10-digit numbers anymore.
Nope.
So the only way that I could reach him is when the nurse came in, and I said, "Let me see that iPad." And so she actually Facebooked him on his wall, and I'm married to a super nerd, like a super duper nerd. And so he was like, if this isn't like, he didn't know if it was spam or whatever. And so I said, you're going to have to inbox him and use the F word so he knows it's me. And so she did. She inboxed him, and he came over to the hospital. But my nearest relative was about 6 hours away.
Wow.
Right. So that's when I knew, like, I had a profound love for social media, and I needed to not only just share it in classrooms, but share it with adults. Like every day, like my mom has a brand new iPhone that I gave her. I got it for her for Christmas.
Yeah.
And she has an iPad, and every day I'm like, are you connected to the world yet? Have you got connected? Am I going to send somebody to get you connected? Because I believe that this connection, this whole thing, it makes us better.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh, big time. And that's the thing is, I finally had gotten my parents on an iPad and iPhone because, they were like, well, we can't use the technology we already have with, the old phones that they had. And I'm like, yeah, but that's because they're not user friendly. Like this is user friendly. You're going to be able to utilize this, quick side note, since we're talking about health and iPads. My dad had a massive stroke right before I turned 21, and he was not a computer guy, you guys. He was always having me help him figure out how to push the button on the big towers. How many of you remember like the big PC towers, right? Like,
yeah.
Huge. And this was like AOL days, right? Now I'm not that old, by the way, but AOL days and all of that. Long story short, his right side is paralyzed and his speech is impaired. So they were going to get him what's called a Dynavox. If any of you are familiar with that, it's basically, think of it like an iPad, but it's a PC, a bulky tablet. It might be thinner now, but bulky tablet with like really advanced programs on helping you speak and what you want to do, basically. Not for him. He could not figure that out. I had to like try to make it work, and I was like, I can't figure this out. Like, this is too much time, because I was working and going to school at the time and everything. I was like, I'm just going to get you an iPad. I'm going to get you an iPad. I'm going to show you how to use it. I spent like 3 months with giving it to him when I went to see him and work, 30 minutes at a time until he felt comfortable. And then I left it. And now, like, he was just calling me FaceTime, like,
yeah.
Like, how
Isn't it
cool.
amazing how they progress?
Yeah,
right?
it's
My
crazy.
when she came here to take care of me. So I'm like, so the first thing I'm telling my husband is like, my mom came and my sister came, and my sister's 14 years younger than me. So I'm like, she's going to need TV. Like, we don't do TV. So I'm like, we got to get Netflix. We got to get Hulu. And I'm like, okay, let's get so I bought Kindle,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and, my mom was like, I don't need that. Like, why are you spending all of this money on me? And then, she fell in love with the Kindle.
Yep.
So when I sent her first iPad, I said, I'm sending you this iPad. And I said, I want you to give that Kindle to my nephew. She's like, I'm never giving up my Kindle.
Yep. And that's what happens. And you guys, how many of you, even if you're watching the replay, how many of you have experienced that, or maybe are experiencing that now with trying to get your parents or your grandparents up on the technology? There's this thing that they feel scared. Now, of course, I'm trying to speak for everyone here, but from my experience, they're afraid to use the technology today because of the fact that, one, they didn't grow up with it, but two, whatever they've had in the past wasn't easy for them to do. And so they feel like they can't upgrade to something newer because they haven't figured out what was going on with the older one, right? So it takes a lot of nurturing and time to get them to adjust to it. But once they do, as we've seen and talked about here, they won't put it down.
Right. So no matter who your target audience is, I think it's important for you to remember that sometimes technology, especially when we're talking about sharing content and creating viral content, that a lot of times people support you and they love you and they don't know what to do. right? So
Right.
like when I first started my business, my mom didn't know I needed her to share out my post. And the average person's like, I don't need my mom to share out my post. Well, I don't know about your mom, but my mom is pretty important,
Yeah.
not just like in a sentimental way, but one of the things that she was able to do for me the first day she shared my post, I got a phone call from someone who had written articles for Barack Obama, who had met
Wow.
Bill Cosby, who had, who had personal photos on their photo gallery from Chris Brown and the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And they were like, hey, your mom knows this person, and this person is a person that I truly trust. And she said, you need to do the website.
Yeah.
Right. So, a part of this is really for some of us, is training people how to
Oh, yeah.
support us with our content. And so that's a lot of what I want to talk about today is like
Yes.
how to truly connect, converse, and then convert your target audience, but just like making sure that you know the real deal. Because I think when people have like 100,000, people, they have all of these, like this formula for success. But for those of us who have less than 30,000 followers, we have to do it a little bit differently.
Yes. No, and that's big. And you guys watching, heart that up because we're about to jump in here, and that's a big one. And I love that you mention, before I let you take over here, I'm going to mention that I love how you say that we have to train people to help us to adjust to what we're doing. As simple as, we all think that maybe, I'm going to use the example of the pinned post here on the Facebook page. The pinned post
Mm-hmm.
I have here is a quick video showing people how to like and follow, because follow is the key here, my page, right? Well, I'm educating people on that because we may think that it's easy for us to all just go to a Facebook page and hit like because there's a button and we think, okay, well, we want to like it. But some people who are brand new to Facebook may not know that. They may not know that they have to go the extra step these days and hit follow and then see first. Like, we have to educate our audience, and that's the reason behind that, you guys. Even if you're watching the replay, there's a reason I created that, was to help you guys understand, whether it's my page or somebody else's, at least now you see an example of what to do, and then hopefully you can go through and take that and utilize that in your business and be able to educate your followers and let them know, right? So that's the
Right.
reason behind there.
And I think this is just really important. I learned that tip not as like just for social media or for like working with in one area. This is in every area, right? So no matter your industry, if you are a writer, right, the best way to get your content supported is to raise readers, right?
Yes.
People who are interested in books, people who like to read, right? If you're a singer, you have to get people to understand the craft of music so that they can follow you where you're going. So this is just a pro tip for anyone who's in business.
I
You
love it.
have to create a tribe around you who understands your hustle or understands your pathway.
I love that. You guys, that is huge. Remember, anytime you have a quote that you want to pull out from what we've talked about here on the show, you can use hashtag EdTalkTV. That's our official hashtag. That is awesome. Hey, Paula. So perfect. Okay, so let's jump in then, and let's go through what you had mentioned there, so that way we can all start taking notes. I know I got my iPhone ready to go here.
Awesome, but I've already taken notes for you, so I've created a
Woo!
download for you so that you can just download it, and it's going to be at Aisha Adams Media / Talk TV,
Ho,
and you'll be able
ho.
to download my notes today. But I'm gonna pull them up here, and we can jump right on in.
Oh, while you pull that up, I just got to say, oh my goodness, you guys, are you hearing this? She already created notes for you. Like, what? Like, you don't even have homework today yet. You're going to have homework at the end, but you don't have even homework right now. Like, that is, you guys better be hearting this up and giving a lot of comments and love here, because that is amazing. I cannot wait. And we'll make sure towards the end too, we'll make sure that everyone gets the link, that you'll pop in your links for everything and all of that too. So no worries, guys, even if you're watching the replay.
Yes. So I have 5 tips for you, and then we can expand on those tips, and I can answer questions for you if you have any questions.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how I like to do it. It's like a mini training. So get your notebook.
Woo.
Let's do this. And I've been wanting to get on here for so long. I love your show. I love you. I cannot believe you're single. We really have to talk about that a little bit later. Like, how on earth y'all let Ed stay single? Now this is not gonna work.
For
We
real.
got to do something about this. You got the dogs, the place, the business, the creative side. We really got to get that in check.
I know. I'm
But
telling you, I love that. That's going to be that's going to be the other show, right? We'll have a love show for that. Somebody already talked about me having a cooking show, which we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But yeah, I know.
right. All right, y'all. So my number one thing I want to tell people, and I like the way that I train. So there's a lot of people on here like Davita and Jean and Vanessa and April. These are people that I work with all the time. So they're used to me being brutally honest and like going deep. And the reason for that is when you're getting help from somebody, you don't need the cookie cutter responses and things that are unclear. So in my background in teaching, just go for the good. All right. So
Yep.
it just be like, Aisha, and I'll stop. I'll reel it back in. But my number one tip for you guys today is to be active. And
Yes.
I do mean like making sure you're posting your content consistently, which is what everybody else tells you. But now here's where it gets real. You also have to interact with other people. You got to show up on their page. We
Yes.
don't live in a society now where it's like if you're a celebrity, everything is top down. We've switched that mall and everything's across. And we want to connect with people we really know, we really understand, who are really real to us. We want to make sure that not only are they liking, sharing, and commenting on our stuff, but I'm asking you, how are your kids today? I'm asking you, hey, are you feeling better? Because you told me you were under the weather. I'm commenting on your stuff. When you put something out, I'm sharing it on my business page. I'm recognizing you as a human being, and
Yep.
I'm making you a part of my tribe, my community, right? Like, there's no such thing as a fan anymore.
Right.
There's just no such thing as a fan anymore. There are followers. You can have a tribe, you can have a community, but this is give and take. There's reciprocity involved.
Yep.
And so if all you want to do is drop your content and wait to go viral, I'm going to tell you right now, people aren't going to love you enough to help you go viral.
Right.
So that's my number one tip. So I feel like most of the time when people say be active, they're telling you, to make sure that you're posting your content consistently. But I need for you to schedule 30 to 45 minutes in your week where you're actually catching up with the people who make you great, right?
Oh,
Like
I
where
like
you're
that.
actually involved in what they're doing so that you can have a great customer map, right? You
Yeah.
can't have a great customer map if you don't know what problems your customers are going through in their business. You just cannot do it, right? If you're not constantly connecting with people, your testimonials, you got to ask for testimonials. But when I'm constantly inboxing you and saying, "Hey girl, how you doing?" You can't wait to tell me that my whatever I gave you worked. You
Right.
can't wait to tell me how it blew up. And you're not afraid to inbox me and ask me questions or email me or tag me in a post because you know that I'm a real person.
Yep.
Those are the people who go viral fast. Those are the people who get the respect. And that's what I mean by actually be active.
I love that. I hope you guys are picking up what she's laying down, and make sure to let us know in the comments. Give us a yes, even if you're watching the replay, if you understand that part of it.
I'm going to make sure we're not missing any comments on that. So if you have any questions about being active, let us know now and we will gladly go through that. I can tell you some of my strategies that I use, how I pick out between 4,000 people who I'm interacting with the most. Like there's a strategy to that, and I'm happy to share that with you.
Yeah.
So then my next tip is seek ideas, right? That's going to come in with the activeness, right? The topics on everyone's mind are already trending. So on Facebook and Twitter, it's going to tell you what's trending. How do you tie that into your business? How do you find things around your business to talk about, around your industry to talk about? You want to do that, and you want to start discussions based on trending posts. A lot of people only want to share their business content on their business page, and what that does is it makes your page boring. So if I
Right.
want to come onto your page and say, for example, you're a media firm, and all you have is the logos you've done, the websites you've done, and your work, I only need 20 minutes. I've caught it. But if it's a variety of people, if you can find an Ed Talk on my media page, and you can find Karima's book on my media page, and one of Vanessa's blogs on my media page, you're going to be like, this person has a lot of depth. So you can sit on that page for more time, right? Because people, like, our attention span is only so short because we're spoiled. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that our pages, um, are seeking ideas from bigger sources. And a lot of times people are afraid to share trending content because they're afraid that it's over talked about. But if
Yep.
people like you and they love you and they want to know your opinion, they'll do it. I'm a witness to that. I can put up a trending topic and get 70 comments on it just like that. And it could be what everybody else is talking about, but because it's me, people want me to know what they feel, thinking, and like what they want to do.
Right. Oh, there we go. Sorry, my camera, you guys, is going a little bonkers right now. You can keep going though. You're good.
Right. So just a quick recap. We said be active, meaning be active on both sides of the fence. And then we said seek ideas. Seek ideas from trending topics, but also seek ideas from that activity that you're having with, people that you're connecting with, because those are the people who are going to be your torch carriers, right?
Yes.
So like that's real. And then the third thing is ask for support. And I kind of alluded to this earlier, but I want to talk about it a little bit more. Your supporters may not know how to leverage social media. That's one part of it. But another part of it is sometimes people just don't think about it.
It's so true.
Unless they are social media like gurus, they don't realize that sharing your post is like everything, right? And like one of the things that Ed does is like he tells us to comment in the comments and talk to each other. Most people don't know that they can do that.
Right. That's a big one.
And yeah, like I have like, especially like right now, I have some of my followers on here and some of Ed's regulars are on here.
Yep.
And so until you guys cross pollinate and really get to know each other and create a bigger system and a bigger connection, we're all going to be struggling in business. We got to make it a bigger network. So, when I say ask for support, I truly mean ask for support. When I put out a product, I have a hot list of 25 people, and you best believe everybody that's on this hot list right now, they're on this video because those are the people I can count on countless times to consume my content. And I don't wait for them to see if they're going to share my stuff. I'm like, I will be posting a post on and this is what I need you to do. And that's my inner circle of people who are always going to continue to support me and love on me no matter what.
That's so true. And you guys, that's why also, going off of that, that's also why I talk a lot to replay viewers. It's not because I'm giving them more love than the live viewers. No, it's to include everyone, because here's the thing. When you go live, you may get some people on your show, watching your show live, but a lot of people watch the replay. And so you need to make sure that you include them too into the conversation. So that's why you hear me all the time saying, comment, share, show some emotions, including the replay viewers. Let us know what's going on, because it reminds us as we're watching to take note. Oh, yeah, I can comment. Oh, yeah, I should join this conversation. Oh, yeah, I should share. So take that and apply it to whatever you're doing as well. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yes, definitely. So I see a lot of stuff here, so we'll talk about some of that too. I want to get through these and then we'll talk about some of those comments. And so then the other thing is blogging. A lot of people think blogging is a lost art, but I'm going to tell you, blogging is amazing. It is so amazing. I'm about to give you the best tip, right?
Oh.
When you blog, right? Did you know you can blog and then submit those to print publications? So you can use that blog, you can send it out. Basically what I do is I use my blog, I send my blog out. My highest read blogs are the blogs I bring back to my notebook. I wordsmith a little bit better. I change up my content a little bit. I correct any errors that I might have missed in my original edit, and then I send those out to publications. And I've been featured in places like the Asheville Citizen Times. I've been featured in places like WNC Woman. I've been featured in places like The Final Call. So what you want to do is you want to be writing a narrative about your industry, joining the conversation about your industry, and then flipping that content. And if you're flipping the content, then it's not as much work as you think it's going to be.
That is so true. And you guys, how many of you didn't realize that you could do that? Or maybe you did, and that something there just sparked, like you were like, oh, okay, I can repurpose, reuse the content I've already created and push it somewhere else.
Definitely. And I'm going to tell you, like, I'm working with editors, and since I've done that, my writing has improved so much because I put it out and then I'm super critical of it, and then I got to get it off my chest, and then I bring it back, and then I wordsmith it to make it even better. And it's not the same thing. Sometimes my opinion changes. Sometimes I learn a new fact through the comments of my blog post or something like that. So it's a great way so you don't have to write so much content, right? And honestly, the way I do mine, if I really tell y'all this, let me tell y'all this. I start mine by creating a video. First I do my video, then it becomes once it's done from the video, then I make the blog post, then I submit it. So it goes through 3 processes where it's created in the public, and it really gets my name out there. So for example, social media, if I do a this social media piece, if I do a social media piece like how to get more followers,
Yep.
and then I do the video, and then I do the blog, and I might add an extra tip in the blog. And then when I do the newspaper article or the whatever article I'm gonna do, I may add another tip. I may take a tip away. I may clean up some words. I may change some things around. I may give a pro tip. And that is really how you can really get your name out a lot faster and promote your social media a lot faster. Because I like to challenge the idea that social media is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and say that social media is anything where people can socially connect. So if it's a local magazine for you and they have parties at the end of the year, that's social media, right? If it's at the newspaper and people walk around town reading it and talking about it, that's social media, right? So you want to make sure you're hitting all media. And one of the biggest things that people are doing, which leads me to my 5th one and final piece to this, is promote offline. Like, stop acting like you got to have a 100% online business. That's not how you're going to make your money quick, right? Like, I made 90% of the money that I made last year locally. And once I made my money locally, then people start saying, oh, you did this, you did this. Now they want to see what I can do regionally. And then they're like, oh, let's see what you can do on the state level, right? So you got to start thinking in terms of strategic planning, I'm a very strategic person, as you can probably tell.
Sure.
I'm very strategic about, what I do. And if you're struggling to get your content out, 9 times out of 10 is strategy.
Yeah. No, and I love that you guys, even if you're watching the replay, let us know your thoughts on that. And I'd be curious to know how many of you are implementing that kind of a strategy, or maybe are somewhat in the middle there, or maybe you're just starting out with that, and that is like something you want to just hold on to as gold. Because, even with my stuff, I will say, and some of you already know this, but for my stuff, like my main focus, my strategy so far, my main focus has been this show, because then this show goes over onto my blog, and then it goes onto YouTube, and pretty much at this point, I just call it a day. Now, yes, I could take it to the next level, and I probably should at some point, but I could include that blog post, right? I could add some more, I can actually add copy to it. I've gotten away from that for a little while because I want to focus on being real here in live video. But it's the same idea that now I have all these blog posts. I can go back to some of them or all of them and add copy. I can add a story to it. And then again, I can then submit that somewhere else. And then here's the other thing, you guys. I have thought about this. I haven't done it yet because, it's there, but we'll see what happens. But you can also take your live video, which I'm glad that you mentioned video as being your starting point, because you can then take your videos, and I say live video because I'm doing that, but whatever videos you have, you can strip the video and have just
make it a podcast.
Audio. Yes, exactly. That's what I love about it, is that you guys were working smarter, not harder. We're starting with what makes sense, and then being able to then take that and pick it apart, do what we want with it. So I love that you bring that up.
And I think it's just important too for us to really, really realize, right? That most of most people have a social media, like a primary, and then they have a secondary. So like my primary is like Facebook, my secondary is Instagram. So if you put something on YouTube, I might not catch it unless it's like I'm just on a humbug, right?
Right.
Or if you put something on Twitter, unless Black Twitter is actually trending a hashtag, I don't go over there. Like I just don't, right?
Yeah.
So I just like, because they're funny to me. I like to watch what they're doing, and if everybody's commenting, I want to get my little comment in. I'll do that. So for the most part, you can share the same content on various ways on this different platforms, and the same person may never see it. I've never
Right.
met anybody that's like, I love all of the social medias. I've never met anybody
Me
who's like,
neither.
I love Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. Like, I've never seen that before. So that's just a helpful hint of like how you can reach more people faster and spread it out.
Yeah, no, and that's great. I'm just looking at the comments here. Erica says, "Oh, the audio converted to podcast." Yep, that's a cool idea, right, Erica? Like that's, what you can do with your videos, and that's actually how I got here is by doing audio first with my other podcasts and then realizing, well, if Facebook's my primary option or my primary social media platform and they want live video, well, then I have to go live and I have to do these videos. I don't have to, but I want to. And then from there, I can go through and create a podcast by easily just taking the audio from all of these and plopping them onto iTunes.
Right. And all you want to do in like situations like this with Ed is like make sure that in your statement you say this could be a podcast, this could be an interview, right? Like I have interviews with celebrities. Like I have an interview with Beyonce's dad, and right now it's just living on my YouTube channel. But I intend to put it on my podcast once I figure out everything,
Yep.
So like I have like all these celebrity interviews, and I let them know up front, this is my content. I can do what I want to do with it. Sign on the dotted line. Let's get it on.
Exactly. And that's key. And now, since you mentioned it, I'm going to ask you, so how did you get to Beyonce's dad? Because I know people in the comments are going to be asking.
I just asked.
That's it?
Like I literally, like no lie, like I sent one email and they were like, yes. And he was level like, he can't wait to talk to you. Now he's a busy man.
Yeah.
And he canceled on me 3 times.
Sure.
But on that 4th time, he was right there. He gave me 20 minutes of his time for $0.00. And it was one of the best defining moments for me because I got the best advice, right? And
Sure.
then I was able to share that advice with other people. And yeah, I met him and he was amazing, right? I also have like been able to do other celebrities like Vivian Green, who was a Grammy winning, artist. And I met, actually, honestly, I don't know what it is about me, but if I love you, you're great. Like if I love you, you just become great. So I can't wait to see Ed blow up. Because if I love you, you're great.
I love it.
I was searching online looking for somebody I wanted to interview. Ran into this lady. Her name was Victoria Theodore. And she had played in Stevie Wonder's band. I'm a huge Stevie Wonder fan. So I'm like, oh, let me do. She had just got off of the Arsenio Hall show that was canceled. Because right, if she's played in Stevie Wonder's band, all her gigs are going to be good.
Right.
Y'all, a year after my interview, she traveled on tour with Beyonce. I just need to let you know that's how real it is. So if I have you on my personal blog, it's like, I love you. And then if you're that great, the world loves you. I had another friend who I wanted to interview because she was just starting her network, Quelle TV, and everybody's calling it hashtag Black Netflix. She started it, but I met her at a workshop years ago. What I admired about her in my personal relationship is that she works so hard.
Yeah.
Now everywhere I go, it's like she's on the cover of tech stuff. She's winning big grants. And so when people search her name, she's on my blog and I have an hour worth of conversation with her.
Wow.
So it's about picking people who you really believe in and you want to see do well. I had another sister on my blog who I just love to pieces, right? So she has worked with everybody from Misty Copeland to Michelle Obama, but I didn't pick her to be on my blog because of that. I picked her because she's dope, her husband's dope, her daughter's dope. I'm like, I want them on my blog.
Yeah.
So I did this interview with her, put her on my blog, and now she's like the county commissioner in her county or on the county commissioner board or something like that. And her and her husband just opened up a bookstore. And Raheem Devon was just in the bookstore, like broadcasting live from her bookstore.
Wow.
So people are going to be looking her up and people are going to, so it's just about doing what you love.
Yeah.
It's really not about celebrityism. I don't believe in celebrityism. That's probably another reason why I get to these celebrities too, because I don't believe that like they should be up here. If they want my money, I need to be able to contact you.
Yep.
Like I have a hard and fast rule. Like if a politician is not on Twitter, like everybody's like, Donald Trump needs to get off Twitter. He probably does because he says crazy things, but If there's a politician that wants my vote, they have to be on Twitter because I need to know that I can tweet them when I need something, and I don't have to
Yeah.
go through all these crazy phone calls and all this stuff.
Sure.
So it's like really creating a community and culture. I mean, one time I got really lucky. I was writing about my favorite rapper, and he happened to be on Good Morning America that morning. Remember, I told you guys I don't watch TV. He retweeted my article the day he was on Good Morning America.
No
Like, those
kidding.
are the things that happen when you are active. You speak ideas. You ask for what you want, the support you want. Like, I just go to people and like, hey, I'm an African American journalist, and I want to, interview all the thought leaders who are African American, and this is my personal blog. Like, this is not even my business stuff. This is just what I do for fun, right? So it's like I just get up and do what I want to do, and don't think I don't have a lot of no's. I don't want you to think it's been a straight path, right?
Sure.
Like, I can tell you there were days I was held over here in the corner, like, how could she say no, or how could she say this and not show up,
Yeah.
But I just kept pushing and pursuing what I wanted, and so I just want to encourage you that social media can really connect you.
Sure.
It can really connect you. You just have to be willing and open to the connection, and you can't be afraid to ask for what you want. You just can't be.
That, and that's such great advice. And I'm glad that you bring that up, that it's all about asking and understanding that you are going to have some no's, but there are going to be some yeses too. And chances are a lot of them after you get through those no's, and that you have to just keep asking and seeing what happens there. And social media is huge. And I think what holds us back, and I don't know, you guys tell me, who live viewers and replay viewers, let us know. But I think what holds us back is that fear of either them saying no or us not being able to get a hold of them, because we think that everyone in the world is reaching out to them, and so they're probably going to say no anyway, so why even bother? But it's not the case.